Hey guys, it's Jonesy. Down at the field this morning, and I've got the mobius with the latest firmware strapped to the AXN. And this is the first time that I've put it on the AXN, so this will be interesting. And I'll just start the timer, and I'll give it a quick fang around and bring it back in, and I might do a bit of blather. Okay guys, well that was a quick fang with the Mobius on the AXN, and I'm just going to take it off of there and slap it back onto the hat. Bear with. I need to put a new bit of Velcro on my hat because the other bit fell off, which I should have done before. And there we go. Get this back in the air again. And restart the timer. And away we go. But yeah, this thing's a hoot. Loving it. You can just fly around really slowly and glide if you want to, but it's still got a decent bit of power if you want to fang it as well. Yeah, g'day to all the guys on the forums. I haven't actually been on the forums very much myself of late. I was down here this morning. It's supposed to be 30 knot winds today, and the breeze is just starting to pick up, so hopefully I can get a couple of packs in before it gets too windy. Bugger off. It's got a fly buzzing in my face. Noel, mate, bad luck on that pole. They're a bugger, those things. And the chances of actually hitting one of those really is pretty slim, so that was yeah, pretty bad luck, but good to see you got it back in the air again. Yeah, carbon fibre props. Haven't personally used any myself, as I mentioned to you last night, but yeah, it'd be interesting to get a set and give it a go and just see what difference it makes. They're a lot more expensive obviously, but they might be a bit more crash resistant as well. Brian, I've had a few messages on the instant chat over the last couple of weeks. You mentioned last night that the plane will be repairable, so that's good news. And I think you said you're off for another week of camping very shortly, so that sounds like fun as well. Phil, mate, I did read your post in the forum. Thanks very much for that, and thanks for the link to that warbird that you recommended. I did have a good look at that, and yeah, that will definitely be one that I'll be considering. I can't remember what the model is off the top of my head. G'day Rob, looks like you're having a bunch of fun with that 350, and I know there's lots of people had problems with GoPros, and even the Mobius I've had problems with it interfering with the GPS. So yeah, you're definitely not alone there. I think it's one of those things that I think each camera is different, and it has different noise outputs at different resolutions, and yeah, it's just one of those things you really need to just play with on your own setup, and yeah, try and eliminate that interference. But I've had the mobius interfering with the GPS on my quad. Ingleburns had the same thing recently. So yeah, there's always something to mess around with. I think the last video I put up was the maiden of this, which was at least a couple of weeks ago. I haven't flown this for a couple of weeks. It's just been way too windy here. But I mean, this thing can handle a bit of wind as long as you're into the throttle. It doesn't like gliding in too much wind because it just gets thrown around too much. Be interesting to put a one of the flight stabilizer receivers on this and just see what difference that made. It'd probably make it fly a little bit better in the wind, but look, if it's windy I just don't even bother. I really need to get the 500 out again and cycle the packs on that, and just so I don't lose it. I remember last time I flew it I nearly crashed it because I'd been dicking around with the quads for so long, banging the sticks. The 500 I nearly drilled it into the ground. And we've got a couple more minutes to go on this pack. I can get about 20 minutes out of a pack on this, just flying around like this. But I've got it set for 15 minutes. I'm going to get a BEC for this, and an external BEC. Because where I've got the ESC in here, I've run as much cool air. It's got an air intake on the front, and I've run some tubing back to the ESC, but I haven't had any problems. But it's extremely hot, and it heats up after a couple of minutes. I've tested it, so I'm going to get an external BEC for it to run the servos and the receiver. That should help the ESC stay a little bit cooler. The only other option is starting to cut holes in the canopy, and you know, a few people have mounted the ESC on the outside, but I don't really want to do that. So this thing will fly around with a little bit under half throttle all day, no worries at all. And I can tell when the wind's starting to get up on this, because when you come into a turn into the wind, the excuse me, the wing on the side that you're turning to drops really quickly. But yeah, I was down here the other night, put a pack through this a couple of nights ago, and with the trees in the background, with the helis, once the sun was gone and the lights started to go, it was impossible to fly because you just can't see the orientation on the heli. But with this thing, I was flying practically in the dark because the white on the trees in the background, it was actually getting more visible as the light went down. So that allowed me to get a full pack in when the wind had dropped off. So that was good. Brian with the Y, thanks for your comments on YouTube. I did read those as well.